Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to the BOF Podcast, episode 223. This is actually kind of an emergency podcast, I guess. We had some Superman Legacy news break yesterday, and I tried to rustle up the boys, and Ryan Lauer says we shouldn't talk Superman on a Batman podcast. Ryan Haas is traveling for Thanksgiving, and Garrett has a football team full of children that he's busy taking care of. So I am recording with the one, the only, Justin Kowalski. Justin, how are you, pal? This is a little different for us.
Yeah, man. We're usually talking about Aquaman. So,
we're usually talking at like 3 a.m.
We're talking late at night. We're not talking about Batman, and we're going to continue on that tradition. We're going to talk about Batman's best friend, though, his pal, his world's finest companion.
Yeah, Superman Legacy.
Right. Superman Legacy, man. This is exciting stuff, Pete.
Look, first of all, you're all very welcome, because after I went on my tirade on the social hour with the old gunslinger, James Gunn heard it, and he's been releasing actual Superman characters to be in a Superman movie. So I take full credit for this solely, unassisted, solo. It's all me. You're all very welcome. All be thankful for me on Thanksgiving, because I did this for you. So let's just get that out of the way. Let's just pat myself on the back. But we got some really good casting news. We finally got Jimmy Olsen, who has been dead since BVS. We got an old, I believe she's an old Donner Puzo creation in Miss Tessmacher, right? She's not a comic book.
Yeah, I only know her from.
So that's pissing
Donner
off
films.
the zaddies, and
Really?
then of course, because it's harking back to Donner.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't see that. Oh my god!
Anything that relates to Donner and Reeves, they get mad about. And
it should be Mercy. It should be Mercy.
And we also got the big gun himself, Lex Luthor.
I haven't seen him in a film in a long time.
At least he's been around a few. He's been around a few movies. So let's just get right into it. First off, we have Sarah Sampaio. She's a Victoria's Secret actress. She's been cast as Eve Tessmacher.
Well, I'd say she's a model. She's a Victoria's Secret model.
What did I say?
You said she's an actress, but
my bad.
I haven't seen her in anything. Unless she was in one of those commercials where they walk around with wings. Or look at, I'm acting.
Well, I never saw Sasha Calle in anything, and everyone told me she was an actress.
It's a shame.
Skylar. Oh man, I'm gonna butcher his name. Gisondo. Gisondo. All right, I was trying to make him sound like Dick Giordano. He's been cast as Jimmy Olsen.
Yes.
And I gotta say, I don't know anything this guy's in, but he looks like he deserves to be in
looks like Jimmy Olsen.
He looks so nerdy. I'm so happy right now.
He's on the Righteous Gemstones. I've seen him on that. It's
okay.
It's like a show on HBO Max, probably before it was HBO Max, but it's kind of like a send up of like all the old televangelist type of stuff back in the day. Anyways, yeah, he's a perfect Jimmy Olsen. I don't know, man. Like this, I got a lot of thoughts about these castings.
Okay. So, and then finally, which hasn't been confirmed by James Gunn. The other two have been confirmed by James Gunn. Correct? Nicholas Hoult, who I know as Beast from the X-Men movies, and as the loser of every Superman and Batman role since since Batman Begins.
Wait, did he try out for Batman Begins?
No, just like since Affleck and everybody. Okay. Like I believe he was in the running for all these movies.
Yeah.
He has been cast as Lex Luthor. Now, I think to me, that's the most important one because I think you got to get Lex right because, in my opinion, while no one really enjoyed Eisenberg's Lex Luthor in BVS, I still think it was the most accurate portrayal of Lex Luthor.
Really?
Lex Corp, CEO, Mongol, hates Superman, not a crazy real estate agent. Yeah, I would say he's a lot closer to what Stacey or Hackman delivered.
I just feel like he was too like eccentric. Like I just didn't buy that.
That's fine. I could understand that criticism. But as a whole, he's way more Lex Luthor than standing on the helipad of LexCorp taunting Superman is a very Lex Luthor thing to do.
No, it is. It just wasn't. It was just I don't know, man. It was so Mark Zuckerberg instead of like being.
Be careful, that starts wars on Twitter.
Well, I mean, that's what it felt like, though. It just felt like an extension of that. I
didn't see the Social Network, and I don't really care about it either. Like,
oh, dude,
whatever.
You should go watch. Dude, that movie's a great movie. Yeah,
I'm sure it is. I just how Facebook was created.
It's Lex Luthor and Spider-Man hanging out.
With the evil Batman in a different universe.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's like Justice League Mortal.
It's basically Justice League Mortal. It's a great film. But
I don't get that comparison. I've never seen that movie. But that's neither here nor there. But Holt is a fantastic actor. I'm sure he's really happy he's not going to have to go through hours and hours of makeup for this movie.
No, he just has to be bald.
He's got to shave his head. He's just got to go to the barber. But
he better shave it too. He better go like Rosenbaum instead of Hackman. Hackman put a little bald cap on and you can see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He needs to shave that sucker.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
The Hackman Lex that's a take. That's
that's like
it's not even a take because I don't think at the time Byrne reinvented the character yet.
No, right? It was not. It wasn't Bernie. It was based on like 60s and 70s nonsense.
Was it? I thought I was going to give credit to Byrne, which is
no, because Byrne came in like in the mid 80s. Like Superman, that was 77, so they wrote that thing in like 76 based on like whatever.
Like the content was like the source material for Lex. I don't think at the time of Superman 78 he was who he is currently now.
Yeah.
I think he was more of a
100%.
mad scientist, probably hanging out in Smallville than anything else, to be really honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the guy's a powerhouse actor. Anything I've seen him in, which has been a few movies, probably not all of his filmography, I've been very impressed. Yeah. A lot of people say they don't see it in the casting, but like I can't tell how Nicholas Hoult can be Lex Luthor from a photograph from like 3 movie premieres ago.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with me. Like I'm not hot or cold on Nicholas Hoult. Like but I didn't have a dream cast. I wasn't like this guy. Casting, especially fanboys are like, you got to cast a guy who's bald type of thing. You get that.
Bryan Cranston, remember he was
Bryan Cranston should be Lex Luthor. Like why? Because he was bald on Breaking Bad. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like.
He actually was asked about that at a panel once, and he says, "Don't you guys have more creativity than that?"
Yeah, it's like it just
his response was great.
He would have been great, but at the same time, I like having our Lex and Superman closer in age proximity. It makes way more sense to everything.
Haven't they always been though?
At
least
like
on film.
Yeah, I mean Eisenberg and Cavill, but Hackman and Reeve, no. Same with Spacey and Routh, like, which is supposed to be the same iteration anyways. And then you get on TV, Rosenbaum and Welling. Lex is a little older, and then I don't know. I haven't seen the John Cryer's older as well. What's up with these bearded Lex Luthors? By the way,
bearded Lex Luthor has been very popular. It started with Cryer.
It's like 3 of them now, right?
What's his name? Who was in Titans? Yeah. And now Abraham on Superman and Lois. I forget his Michael. I forget his real name. These people just become characters at some point. Like they just I get so absorbed in their work, I don't remember their real names. Yeah. So now he's I believe he's the redheaded Lex, bearded Lex. It's interesting. I don't know what they would do Lex wise, if he's going to be bald, if he's going to have hair.
He's got
I was actually excited when BVS when we saw that first picture of Lex or a picture of Lex and he had the hair. I thought that was, to me, that got my comic book Jones going.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of just keeping it like as recognizable as possible. And that's what I wanted to talk about with these castings, man. I mean, besides Sarah, like Sampaio as Eve, Tessmacher, like, you don't really have a base, right? You have in Superman 77, like, she was blonde, wasn't she blonde in that movie?
Tessmacher, yeah, dirty
Yeah.
blonde, yeah, she was.
Yeah.
You know what she was? She was damn beautiful.
There you go. And she felt for Superman. She was like, I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna take that kryptonite.
Yeah, it was either that or her mother dies.
Yeah. So
She lived in Jersey, by the way. If you don't remember.
I wonder if we're gonna get Otis. Is he gonna cast Otis?
You want to know something?
Otisberg.
Supergirl did this during their TV run. They actually did cast a Tessmacher and an Otis.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I mean, that was fun to watch. And to be honest, that was the last time I thought I would see them pop up. But
who played Otis?
He wasn't. He was more of a kind of like a buff goon.
Oh, okay.
But he was kind of stupid though. He was like dumb muscle. Whereas in the Reeves movie, he was just dumb.
Yeah,
which was still funny. But I thought it was respectful. I thought.
Gotcha.
So that was nice to see that Tessmacher came back as well. And I'm with you on the classic look, because if you go back to the date release in the classic font, and then finally, I've been begging for this, we're getting the classic characters. That's Superman to me.
Yeah. No, and I think
it's terrific. Don't scream Superman to me. They scream Justice League. This is starting to feel more Superman to me, and this is what I wanted. And I'm with you on the classic. It's bringing me back nostalgically. Like, I'm instantly connecting to Reeves. I'm connecting a little bit to Supergirl. Like, the multiverse is working in full effect here. So I'm actually in a much better place with this movie now than I was, let's say, even a week ago.
Yeah. Oh, and here's going back to that, dude. With the, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on when we recorded with the font being classic, like Superman. Some of these castings are real, like, on the nose. They're not like out of the box. It's not like, wow, this it's a lady and she's Jimmy Olsen. This is straight up like, if you close your eyes and think about what a character looks like, they're kind of landing right there. And so casting this Skylar dude as Jimmy Olsen, man, it's pretty like perfect pick, right? And I feel like a lot of people were putting his name out there.
I thought Huntington looked great as Olsen, so I can't wait to see.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we've had a bad Jimmy Olsen except for the one that got killed in BVS.
Yeah,
to be honest, even buff Jimmy Olsen was good on Supergirl. It's not my thing, but
I disagree right there. I thought that was goofy.
Until he became Guardian. When he was Jimmy, he was cool.
Yeah, so why would he become Guardian? He needs to be Turtle Boy. That's what he needs to be, Turtle Boy.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, up until that point, I thought they utilized the buff Jimmy pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I like the guy's got the freckles. Like, we've never had a freckle faced, Jimmy Olsen, dude. Look,
Superman's pal. Like,
he's not the watch. He has the watch.
Yeah, I know. These are I'm thinking of these things. Like,
yeah.
I kind of hope that Jimmy Olsen comes from a family of money, right? But he's got that edge and he's got that grit to him that he wants to be a journalist and he wants to make it on his own. Like, that's who the modern day Jimmy Olsen is. Like, his brothers, he comes from a family of a very wealthy family within Metropolis. Like, the Olsens are well known, and his brother's like this big conglomerate, big CEO, and Jimmy's just fighting. And they're a little embarrassed by Jimmy because he's the reporter, he's a photographer. He's not doing his
why is he wearing them green suits?
Yeah, like they think he's
bow ties.
So, and I want to see Jimmy do stupid things. Like, to be brutally honest, man, like, I think it's time for Jimmy Olsen to be the modern day Jimmy Olsen, walking through the door of the Daily Planet, taking off his wig and high heels and a red dress, talking about how he had to dress in drag to, like, investigate a report, a story or something like that. Like, to me, that's comic book Jimmy Olsen, just always getting in the shenanigans, trying to prove himself to Perry White, trying to get ahead, trying to prove himself to Lois, there's been other takes on Jimmy, like I wouldn't even say other take, but My Adventures with Superman, that version of Jimmy Olsen was done very well.
I didn't watch that. I only watched a couple episodes of that show and I just didn't care.
Wow, that sucks because it's a great show. Jesus.
Yeah, I just come on, bro. It wasn't for me, man. It wasn't for me. I think Oliver liked it, but other than that,
that's my boy.
You and Ollie, dude. Brothers.
Yeah.
Lost in time. Let me tell you. So yeah, for me, I'm just happy to get a good, like, version of a character, man. Like, I just think it makes it long term. It's setting up a world. That's what he's doing. it would be really cool. There's that. Did you read any of the Matt Fraction Jimmy Olsen book that came out? It was
Yes, I did. I liked it a lot.
Who killed? Yeah, dude, that thing was fun. Imagine people like Jimmy Olsen and
those are the antics I want to see Jimmy get into.
That's what I'm saying. What if they did an HBO
know?
Max show? They do a show, Jimmy Olsen, and he just goes on these stupid adventures because that book.
Here's the thing.
They base something on that book, that'd be rad.
I'm glad you brought that up because the Penguin's coming out soon. That's another DC HBO Max or Max joint, right?
Yeah, they put a picture of him out yesterday.
They did, and he looks fabulous in his suit. He looks great.
Yeah.
But I'm worried post MCU, right? But like in the middle of this MCU run, if the show is going to be a little bit too much exposure.
Yeah.
You don't think so? I don't know.
Don't care.
I'm getting nervous, man, because because they're kind of watering down the product. I think there's just a lot of content out there, which for us as fans is great. But overall, I wonder if it's not the right move.
I'm here. All I'm saying is,
your idea speaks volumes.
It's just a fun idea. Like if they do it, I don't know. And if they do it, it'll be in 2027. So or whatever, right?
It's a long time away.
Yeah. It has to be something where like
the movie's got to be a hit. They're not going to make
movie's got to be a hit. People have to say, who I really liked. I like that Jimmy Olsen guy, right? Yeah. And so that's just kind of where I land. I'm just dreaming as a fan, like, hey, it'd be fun. That'd be a fun if he's good. People love him. Give him a little bit more. It'd be fun to see Jimmy take off because he's always like a side supporting character, right? Like, but and I'm not saying there's this groundswell of people wanting to see a Jimmy Olsen like film or anything like that. Like it's we don't need that. It's like when these movies take off, they do well, and it's like we're gonna do an Amazon's movie and we're gonna do a movie about the Reach and all this other stuff. Like no. The Trench, sorry.
What is the Reach? No. Now that you've got my curiosity.
That was from Infinite. That was from New Frontier, I think.
Okay.
Anyways, whatever. There's never a great appetite for these things until you see it come out, and then then they figure it out. Anyways, I want to get out of that Jimmy Olsen stuff. I wanted to talk about Lex Luthor because I saw some stuff about Lex yesterday that kind of we need another Lex and things like that, and like Lex Luthor is not just Superman's like main like antagonist. He is part of the supporting cast as well. I don't know if he's going to be the master plan of this, but he's Lex. He gets involved. He gets his hands on things.
Manipulative, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to have Lex Luthor in this film. Like it's different than the Joker. The Joker, you don't want to see the Joker all the time, but Lex Luthor, you do, because he's just part of the tapestry of Metropolis, and I think it's really important that he's in this film. And I'm hoping it's more of a contemporary like take where Lex Luthor, super fit dude, super powerful, super respected in Metropolis. Like people see him.
You're talking about President Luthor. That's the type of character.
No, not yet, not quite yet. But like early, in the Grant Morrison Justice League era, that Superman triangle after
All-Star Superman, he has a workout scene specifically.
Yeah. Well, actually, I posted that picture because it was a great example of Lex being peak, but also in the comics work when he came back from being, when he was the clone version of himself, like all that stuff.
The redheaded Lex.
Yeah, the Australian son of Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor II. When all of that stuff came to an end, Lex Luthor emerged again. And the new kind of take was respected business guy, scientist, right? Fit. And he has everything, going for himself. But dang it, Superman can fly.
Hey, y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor.
Yeah,
he's got all this power given to him. He didn't work for it,
Why does Lex need to be buff? Well, in Lex's mind, in order for him to be equal to Superman, he's got to be as strong as Superman.
But
that's what actually motivates Lex is Superman.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just as good. And
I can't be the best man on the planet if this guy's here. That's Lex's mentality.
And so I hope that take happens. So
where do you stand on? And I've seen some complaints on this on Twitter. Another Lex. Going back to the well, we've seen Lex over and over again. The last time we saw Superman, Lex was involved.
Yeah.
And they do something new characters and so on and so forth. Do you think it's smart right off the bat? Because you mentioned classic. You keep going back to that word. You mentioned classic. Is this to try to emulate the classic versions of Superman to try to draw people back in? Or are you someone who says, I think you should kind of be a little bit more brave, maybe incorporate somebody like Parasite or even a Lobo or something like that for his first movie going out? Does it have to be Lex? Where do you stand on Lex again?
Yeah, well, I thought I said that, like, you're building Superman back up and you have to put all the familiar parts back in there, right? So that's why I think he's more of a supporting cast but he's a key player. Like, Lex Luthor is going to move forward. Like the next film, or maybe it's another film. Lex is part of this world, so he has to be in here, right? They didn't put him in Man of Steel, but you saw his name on things, right? They kind of
Lex Corp was everywhere, the branding.
Yeah, but I think with this film, it's really important to like hit the ground running. What did they say? It's not a new Superman, but he's been at it for a couple years or so. So you got
from what I believe he's been active for let's go with the year 2 angle again. This is like year 2 Superman. Some people still consider him a myth. Some people consider him real. There's other heroes in the world. Like, I think that as we enter this Gunn universe, we're entering the infancy of the superhero age within this universe. I think they've been active for a while, but some people believe, some people don't. Like that's what I'm kind of feeling a little bit just from scuttlebutt.
Well, then to me, it would be like making a Batman film without having, Commissioner Gordon and Alfred, right? You need those characters. And I think you need Lex Luthor. That's all. Like you need the Daily Planet cast, because Superman has more of a supporting cast, a little more of an established, like you need Lois, you need Jimmy, you need Perry, you need Ma and Pa. I guess you don't need Ma and Pa, but you need to know where they stand.
He's such a mama's boy that you do.
Yeah. So you got to
have one of the things I thought BVS did right was when him calling his mother and be like, hey, like I'm kind of like, I just, like I first of all, that's real. And then like, I could totally see Clark doing that. I would actually see Clark just flying over and saying hello, but that's a totally different story.
So that's where I stand on that. I think there's still going to be like a major like bad guy that's not Lex Luthor, but you might find out at the end Lex was like,
I'm kind of I made that call. Lex is not a main character in the movie, kind of working in the background, almost like a tease from in the next movie. Like, I'm with you that Lex is kind of the foundation of Metropolis. He's everywhere. You can't go one square block in Metropolis without seeing the word Luthor. Like, it's just everywhere. The man has built the city. He owns the city. He owns the government. He owns the police. Like, his fingerprints are everywhere.
Yeah. What if he's friends with Superman? Like, what if there's like this, hey, no, I'm for Superman the whole time, and then at the end of the film,
it's all just a ruse.
It's a ruse. It's a backstab. It's like,
I would like that. That would be something totally different. I mean, I believe traditionally when Superman was printed as Superboy at one point, him and Lex were friends in Smallville when Lex was a young redheaded little troll. So it seems like Gunn is, when you think of the name title of the movie Superman Legacy, it really does seem like he's picking out his favorite parts of not only the DC universe, but the Superman universe as well.
Yeah.
So, he really has an affinity for the Authority, and I know they have a spin-off movie coming, and that's part of this, but I guess he's killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah, so that's the only part I'm not super, hyped on. I don't care so much for the Authority, but we'll see. Maybe it's just a setup. I don't know. Unless, like, I think the idea is that group will challenge the idea of Superman, and then Superman will rise above it. Kind of like that old story from Action Comics.
Truth. What's wrong with truth, justice, and the American way?
Yeah, but that was
which turned into the animated film Superman versus the Elite.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll just use the Elite, but I get it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, either way, you're using Superman to spin off of a bunch of characters nobody really knows of.
Yeah. I also want robot suit Lex Luthor. I want him to have his suit.
Let's I wouldn't mind that just a few movies down the road. You should watch Supergirl because they did it.
Well.
Just I don't watch these CW shows. They have low budgets. I can't watch television shows.
Not at all. I just it's the same show. I've seen Supergirl when I watched Flash.
No, you didn't. She flies.
Well, sure. Does everybody fly on Supergirl? They're like, everyone flies now. We all have the same powers.
No.
They all get the same powers just by proximity.
Everyone gets powers. Typical CW fashion, everyone does get powers.
How I shoot arrows too? I was on an island for 5 years and I had to survive. And then all of a sudden now his sister, she can shoot arrows too. Why? I saw you do it a couple times.
It's genetic, dude.
Genetics.
You watch a couple YouTube videos, you can do anything.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know what really role the Authority plays in this. I know this. I don't even know who this engineer person is. Gunn has gone on record saying she's not the villain.
Yeah.
She's just, and I'm kind of like, well, then what is she doing? Who is this character? I don't know anything about this. So even when I read up on it, she's not
the
Authority angle worries me a lot, man.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm kind of sitting because I don't want to get my opinion wrapped up in like what I don't want it to be, because it probably is not going to be that. Like, I think they're casting people and she's going to be in this film. She's probably going to be a small part of this film, right? She's not going to be on a major, she's not going to be on the poster when you walk by the theater, right? The engineer. No one knows who the engineer is. And if anyone says they do, they're freaking lying, dude. Just, the engineer site. Like, no one cares.
It's like everyone who read Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
No one read that.
No one read the book but me when it came.
But Pete read it. Tried and true.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
popular trade in the world.
Yeah, I just think we're going to continue to get like castings, and right now everything connected to this DC, this new DC stuff is going to make some news because people are curious. They're like, well, what's happening? What's the next thing, right? The
one thing they have going for them is we haven't seen this yet, this version, and people are curious.
Yeah.
So that's what they have going for them. And I think I'm with you. They should definitely exploit that because, right now the genre is really taking a hit. So any kind of positivity seems to be really good. I don't see people outside of the fanboy Twitter sphere really talking about this yet. So it hasn't reached the mainstream.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to hit the mainstream. I imagine we'd have to get some sort of poster or some sort of trailer. Yeah. Maybe even a photograph of Superman to kind of alert the general audience, but they're not really riled up. Yeah, but the fanboy realm seems to be pretty positive to the recent casting news, and I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to complain about Nathan Fillion as a Green Lantern because he plays the role so well. Yeah, and at least he voices the role in animation and video games very well. So I know he knows what to do, and I think he's a good actor. I love Slither. And
he's a fanboy too, so he gets it. Like, he wasn't my Guy Gardner choice, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like he would look good in a bowl cut, but he knows what he's doing. So it's just to have Guy Gardner in a Superman movie. I never would have suspected that to begin with, anyway. And you're a Gardner.
I love Guy Gardner. I'm a Guy Gardner fan. Like, if this whole universe happens, I need the shot where Batman punches him in the face. Like, that needs to be filmed. And like,
does that need to be in Justice League International? Or you just need Batman to punch Guy?
I would prefer a situation similar to that film. I mean, to that comic. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes sense with what's going on. Like, him trying to loudmouth and be a jerk. Guy Gardner as a jerk is one of the funniest things you'll watch ever. I think people are gonna love it. It's hilarious, and to see Batman just like pop. Like, all those components need to be there. I don't care. It doesn't have to be Blue Beetle and everybody else there, but like,
Batman doesn't get along with Green Lanterns.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Him and Hal have beef. I think Kyle is more infatuated with Batman, and to be honest, John's
he was scared. So remember, he was scared.
Yeah. Kyle is.
Yeah, I think Batman only respects Jon Stewart. I feel like there's only respect there.
Well, that's probably because John doesn't run his mouth, and he's like I said, he's an American hero. He's a Marine.
Yeah. So Batman's like, all right. He's like, I've created tanks that you drove. Driving a Wayne Enterprises.
Wayne's Weapons Division. I like I said earlier, I'm happy with this casting news. I'm excited to see what comes forward. I don't know who else could possibly be in this movie. I don't know how many actors you need for a movie anymore. Because every time everyone's like, "Oh, this movie's overstuffed," I'm like, "Well, you need people in the movie in order for it to move." Like, I don't know what that.
Not overstuffed.
Yeah,
not overstuffed.
It doesn't seem like that. I mean, and who knows what roles these characters have? I'm trying to be a little bit more positive these days. I just am, and especially now. Well, it's when this news definitely just makes me feel good about the movie.
Yeah.
It just does.
I
Because I'm like, okay, these
I
characters are
told
in
you
it.
it's coming. I told you they're going to cast these characters.
Oh, it just took a while. I mean, I would have preferred these guys to get cast first as opposed to the Justice League.
Well, they were talking. That's what they said. This was all going down before the strikes. So
This is all
we heard
Fran
we heard
Drescher's fault.
rumors
She
about
should have
this
solved this
anyways.
earlier.
It was the nanny's fault. They were talking about Holt and this Skylar kid before the strike, so it's not that surprising. Like they were saying, he was Jimmy Olsen.
Strike just happened at the worst possible time.
Yeah,
at least for
and Jimmy Olsen was one of those characters that those castings that people are like, oh, he'd be great, and like there was a rumbling, and it was like he looks like him, so I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, like the picture. Every time I see a picture of this guy, I mean, he just screams Jimmy Olsen to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, this is like almost. If he can act and he does well in this movie, this could go down as the best version of the character since like Superman George Reeves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's kind of funny. Imagine being typecast as Jimmy Olsen. Man, you'd be the best Jimmy Olsen.
Well, it's funny.
Never the Superman, always the Jimmy Olsen.
You hear Chris Rock talk about when he was cast as Jimmy Olsen for Superman Lives.
It's terrible.
And I believe he tells a story and he's like, I walk in the door and I'm just like, guess who's Jimmy Olsen? And everyone's like, you?
He's like, I'm a 40-year-old Jimmy Olsen.
Was he 40 at the time? He was not 40.
I don't know, dude. He's
1997. He was young.
He was probably 30 something in 1997.
You think he's that old? I would say he's
I don't know.
late
He's
20s.
like,
all right, I
probably
guess
in his
so.
50s now. I don't know, dude. Either way,
he's been around forever. But yeah, like I mean, the Jimmy Olsen we never got. Superman Lives. Oh man,
that would have been awful.
Has John Peters ever made an awful movie?
Yeah, dude. He's got really bad ideas, dude.
I mean, he's a hairstylist.
I mean,
that's it. He's crazy.
He was.
I wonder if Peters is involved in this in any way.
No.
Not involved in making the movie, but involved in the business aspect. Like, I wonder if he's going to get a check. Peters gets a check for every Superman live action screen appearance post.
Does he really?
Yeah. Nolan banned him from the set of Man of Steel.
I heard that.
He got it, and he gets a check every time he shows up on film. So he got a check for BVS. I would imagine he got checks for both Justice League movies and probably for the comeback. And so Peters is really a fascinating. Like, if you ever want to read a good article on John Peters, just Google John Peters, Hollywood Reporter. Tatiana Siegel wrote a fantastic article years ago.
Oh, geez.
I read it every once in a while, and it really brings a smile to my face because he's one of the most eccentric people I've ever heard of.
You got to listen to him on Joe Rogan. It was crazy. It was like,
I would imagine.
What? Yeah, it was just him cutting them off the whole time and telling them, just crazy stories. And at some point they had to just end the interview. He goes like 4 hours with these guys, and I think it was like 90 minutes. It was like, we can't do a show. This is no way we could do a show with this guy.
It's crazy, dude. I mean, if
he makes everything about himself. Everything about himself.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the guy went from being Barbara Streisand's hairdresser to one of the most successful financial producers in Hollywood. It's crazy. John Peters is the American dream, everybody.
He is, dude. He is Superman.
Oh, he is. He's probably going to get a check for this one too. I wonder if Gunn will ban him from the set. I'm just curious now. He's such a fascinating. I remember one time he goes, "These guys are scared of me. They know my reputation." I'm like, John Peters, give me a break.
They're like, no, you just annoy us, dude. Get out of here with your spiders.
It's like, you're just insane.
That's so funny.
Let's back up to where we started.
Yeah.
It's just great news. I'm actually very happy about this. I'm in I am thankful for this news this week.
Me too.
I'm thankful for a lot of things. This news I'm very thankful for. So it's good. I mean, I think the movie's heading in a more positive direction for me. I'm getting a little bit more excited. I still think it's the shared universe might be a little too late for the DC game, but I'm happy they're still making movies, man. That's the most.
I don't think it's going to be. I feel like we have this conversation all the time. I don't think it's just going to be feed into the next thing. I think it's these things take place in the same world, and that's all. That's all it is. You're going to go today. You're going to go probably barbecue something today, right, in your backyard.
Yeah.
Not going to affect me at all over here, right?
Right.
You're going to do your thing. I'm going to do my thing, and then maybe at times we connect, but like only if we need to. Like right now. right? Superman will talk.
I
to
get that,
Batman.
and I think what you're saying has a lot of merit.
Yeah,
I
I think that's what it'll be.
I got to see it first. Until I see it, I got nothing really. I got nothing but speculation. I got nothing but what ifs, possible scenarios, horrible ideas.
Who do you think's gonna get cast next? What do you think is gonna be next? Do you think a major villain role or like Ma or Pa?
I kind of feel like he's going to continue the trend of supporting cast. I think we're going to get Perry.
Yeah, I think we're going to get one more crazy superhero casting. Like what? Like someone out of pocket.
Okay.
They've all been really like Metamorpho. What? Like Hot Girl, Mr. Terrific. I think we're going to.
I mean, Guy Gardner. He's not the Green Lantern, right? Like,
yeah, I think we're going to get.
He's probably 4 or 4.
I was thinking.
Sorry, Donnie.
I was thinking, if this is a whole. This is going to connect us back to our last show, but like let's say Aquaman comes out, does what it does, and they're all like, finally last cast member, Jason Momoa, Lobo.
Kowalski. If Lobo pops up in a post-credit scene, I think we all know what Jason.
Oh yeah, that would. I guarantee you, if he shows up in a post-credit scene, then they're not going to announce that.
Because I always thought Fillion would pop up post-credits. Like I'm trying to figure out where the Green Lantern. I could see where Mr. Terrific fits into a Superman movie. I really could. Michael Holt is a genius. Star Labs, research development, all that jazz. I could see Superman and Mr. Terrific working together. Superman and Guy Gardner, that's something I can't really piece together.
Yeah, I mean, he's
so like I always figured that would be the
together though.
No, but like you never think of Superman and Green Lantern, right? Like that's not a pairing, right? Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern. Like it's just it's not like the top choice. I feel like people have. I think Superman, Wonder Woman's a bigger draw than Superman, Green Lantern. So I'm interested to see where he goes. That and the Authority, like I have no idea what the hell those guys are doing. So Lex, I could see what Lex does. Like I know what Lex is. Like I've read so many Lex stories over my life that I could picture him and what he does and different versions. But like I've said before, I've read one book on the Authority. It was a Brian Hitch story. I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm sure Jim Lee's just really excited about that. He's going to get a lot of royalties from action figures because McFarlane's going to make Jokerized Midnighters.
That's right.
But yeah, no, I mean I am happy that I'm starting to feel more positive about this film.
Good.
I just am.
Good. It's good. Everything's great, Pete.
I hope so.
Little Batman coming out. We got Aquaman.
I finally read Ram V's Aquaman. And whatever his Aquaman story.
The Black Label deal.
Yeah, wow, that was interesting.
Was it okay?
That was good. I was really impressed with it.
I saw it. I might check it out.
Yeah, no, dude, I think it's a nice little because it's kind of like the first appearance of Aquaman.
Gotcha.
And the design's really cool, and Manta's involved in it, and it's interesting. I like that he did his own thing.
Yeah, you don't ever get a lot of like not Elseworlds, but like one shot takes on Aquaman. It's typically established stuff. So this is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was all for it. So I've been actually reading a lot of Black Label lately.
Yeah.
I read Catwoman Lonely City, which was phenomenal. I was blown away by that story.
Oh yeah, I read the first issue.
Yeah, dude, by the time the book ends, you're like, wow, that was very impressive. It was a very impressive tale. And Swamp Thing Green Hell.
Oh, they finished
by
that?
Lemire.
I read the first issue.
It's only 3 issues. It's only 3
issues. They never came out. Those things dude,
you gotta be patient.
Had to be
delayed. They're definitely delayed.
That was one of the last things I reviewed.
Really?
Swamp Thing Green Hell #1.
It was very good.
Where it was like everyone's on like this island and they were dying off or something, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like the end of the world. And
this people don't care about this, but I'm just so you got me.
They should go out and read it. It's good. I'm gonna support DC Comics. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Then what the hell are you doing listening to this podcast?
Yeah.
Obviously, Lemire, we're talking about Superman, not Batman.
He did that Swamp Thing book, but then he did that 3-parter Batman and Robin story where there was Killer Croc.
That was very good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I like that. And then
I think it was just called Batman and Robin, or Robin and Batman.
Yeah, it was Robin and Batman. Yeah, it was a good story. And then nothing else happened.
No, look, we all know how I feel about writers or directors doing a trilogy and moving on. Like, I'm all about that.
Get out of here.
Rises for life, baby.
Rises for life, dude.
I love Rises, unlike some people on this podcast.
It's a movie with Batman in it.
It's so beautiful. Oh, Ryan Haas, where are you when I need you? Justin, final thoughts. I guess we for Superman Legacy, casting news, expectations, yada yada yada. What do you got?
Bring on more people, because I just want everyone who makes these really funny memes about like the cast being so big. I want James Gunn to make an announcement for everybody. Guy eating a hot dog. I hope they cast that guy. You know,
That was Andy Muschietti in The Flash.
there you go. I hope they just every single person, background actor, they make a big deal about it, because it'd be a funniest joke of all time. Yeah, I'm excited.
They
I'm
did that.
excited
Then
for the
like
movie.
Bibbo, hello.
Oh, dude, we better get Bibbo. Thank you for saying that. Bibbo, for me, I love the Superman cast. I think he's got, Batman, best rogues gallery. Superman, best supporting cast. Like, you can't. There's no one.
You know what? I'll give that to you. I think that's there's nothing I really enjoy more about Superman than actually seeing the Daily Planet newsroom.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's because I've worked in several newsrooms throughout my professional career, so that part, like, I get into that. Like, I like
Yeah.
the show newsroom as well.
Those
So-
characters they all make it come out, like Ron Troop and then Lombard and Cat Grant. Like all these characters.
Oh yeah,
They
dude,
build the
Lombard.
world, man.
Lombard's great.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I mean, he
and-
has me cast, but I love him.
yeah, like all those things matter. Bibbo, great. Sawyer, boom, like get him. Get all those
Turpin
guys.
and Sawyer would be.
Tur-
It'd be nice to see the Metro. I believe, what do they call it? Is it the MC? Do they call it the MCU? Metropolis Crime
That's the-
Unit,
Yeah, Special Crime Unit.
Yeah,
it was
something
the
like that.
Metropolis Crime Unit.
which
They
is
probably
like
can't call
tied
it that
into
now.
Star Labs. What was that?
Yeah, Star Labs and Inner Gang, like all that stuff, dude. That
We got
like,
Inner
Superman's
Gang and
got
Black
some-
Adam.
Yeah, but not like Superman's. They didn't really lean into the cool like Jack Kirby-ness of it though. Like
I
I
agree.
want to see Double X. I want to see all the Cadmus Project stuff. Like that's just they have some really cool things like in Superman lore. Stuff Jack Kirby brought in, it was really great too. So yeah, we'll see if we ever get it. But that's the thing about trilogies. They don't give you enough time to really explore. Like, man, that's why I'm like, James Bond this stuff. Go deep, go long, really explore the mythology, because you won't get some of the fun stuff if you just go 3 movies and you're done. You just won't.
I mean, how do you know that? You don't know what someone has planned though. Like a director could just come in and say, "I'm just doing this. 35-year-old Superman has been doing this for 15 years, and here we're going to go at it." Like I don't
We'll
think
see.
for certain characters, I don't know if you necessarily, and I think Superman's one of them. I don't think you need to start with an origin. It's
no,
been
I
done.
don't think you need to. I'm just saying,
Like-
even with Batman, you're like, oh man, I would love to see Batman. I'd love to see that story of Jason Todd. Well, you can't do Jason Todd until you did Dick Grayson. Like you can't start out with Jason Todd. You have to tell the Dick Grayson story, the transition to Nightwing. So you can't do that in 3 movies. You got to.
Well, I mean, your boy Gunn is doing that with Damian. He's just rolling into it.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing with these movies. They said the DC universe timeline is like Star Wars. Sometimes they're going to be forward, sometimes they're going to be backwards. So movies may not always be in the same timeline.
It's not linear.
It's non-linear. Yeah. So
If they're going to do it that way, honestly, then that's the best way to do it.
that's what I'm saying. Just
In my
tell
opinion.
a good story. Tell a good story.
Because then you can pick and choose what part of the timeline you want to put a movie in, and then it's up to Look, as a comic book fan, continuity means nothing to me. I just read what's in front of me at the time.
Yeah. If
because
it's good,
yeah, exactly. If the story's good, you just take it for what it is, and then you move on. If it's bad, you're going to complain. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. So, we've been saying this for a long time. Just make good movies, and people go out to see them. And I feel like that recently that kind of backfired in a lot of our faces, because I think several of these movies this past summer were very good, and no one went to go see them. But I still think a good story draws an audience.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if all the movies that came out were that great though. Like I saw Blue Beetle, it was okay.
I'm mostly talking about The Flash. I think The Flash is
okay. Yeah, but it had
I think Blue Beetle is a fine movie.
It was
for
fine.
for Blue Beetle, it was probably the best Blue Beetle movie I ever will see.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine for that character. But
Yeah.
for something like for the Flash and Keaton's return, I thought it was better than what people said, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that's that. You know,
that's that. All right, Pete.
that's it. We're gonna end this one.
Yeah, I think we
We got it. We're under the hour, so we're not gonna get fined.
How's the weather?
My weather, it's actually really bad up here, man. It was
Uh-oh.
raining like hell yesterday. It's kind of cold.
Yeah,
You know?
I know I'm cold. I'm cold here in my garage right now, man.
You live in California. You have no right to complain about weather. You live in Southern California.
It's gonna be a high of 79 today. So
Shut up.
yeah,
High of 79.
yeah.
Do me a favor. Shut up.
Yeah, that's a nice day.
I
I wish it was cooler. You know, it's gonna be in the 60s. It's gonna
Well,
hit the
move out of your
60s.
horrible state.
Oh man, as much as I want to, I
Bring
love it.
bring Berg and the boys to Jersey.
I want to go to Jersey. Oh man, give me a reason. We were almost going to go to New
I
York
live here.
this
That's
week.
enough reason.
We almost went to New York this week. Like we were thinking about getting tickets, and then it just didn't happen.
All right. Well, I'm
I
here.
called
if
the
you ever
Holzman. I
come.
was like, "Hey man, we might be going to New York. Where should we go?"
The good thing about Holzman is if you hang out with Holzman on the island, you get everything for free.
That's
People
true.
just
Everywhere you
throw
go.
money at him.
There's open doors.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, the champion's here," and then
Please, please,
and his entourage.
Sit in my recliner. How's my ass groove? Would you like a beer?
No, I'm gonna get out to Jersey one day.
Yeah, I'll
I
take
don't
you
know,
to the
but-
deli. We'll have a good sandwich.
It'll just be me and Oliver.
Sandwich. I would love to, dude. I would love to take Oliver to like Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, just because it's so Ginzo. Like, I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that.
Oh, dude,
The
he
way
was
people
fun.
say sliced deli meats is going to throw him for a loop. Like, what is this gabagool? It's actually capicola. What?
Gabagool.
How do you spell that? Capicola. So where's the G? Don't worry about it. It's a Jersey accent. All right. You plug and I'll follow.
All right, I'm gonna plug. Follow me on Twitter /X, Justin M. Kowalski. There you go.
All right. If you want to hear more of my beautiful voice, listen to my podcast that I do with Eric Holzman, Straight Outta Gotham. We have a Twitter handle and an Instagram handle at @straight_O_G. Check out my Spider-Man podcast, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition. I have a new episode in the works. I have an episode out for you right now, so take a look at that. That's at Italians for Spidey on Twitter. Check me out personally on social media at all platforms at Pete Illustrated. Check me out, BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube. I got comic reviews, all that kind of stuff, toy reviews, all the things that you fanboys love to read and watch. So please give that a chance and support Batman on Film. And once again, for Justin M. Kowalski, I'm Peter Verra. Thank you for listening to the Batman on Film podcast. Authoritative, definitive. The original.
The original.
Texas,
Stir that
baby.
stew. Stir that stew.
Gumbo. Woo, woo, woo.
Gumbo and stew.
You've been listening to the original and official podcast of the Batman on Film website. Follow BOF on Threads at the Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jet and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original. Batman on Film, founded in 1998.